Right then, he is the world's most famous illusionist. Over the past 20 years, Derren Brown has wowed audiences time and time again with his jaw-dropping West End shows.
But for his latest production, Unbelievable, Derren is stepping off stage and into the director's chair to create a magic show like no other.
Yeah, and with early reviews suggesting that the show certainly lives up to its name, we're delighted that Derren is here to tell us more. Lovely to see you this morning. Interestingly, as someone with your sort of experience and the amount of work you've done, do reviews concern you? I mean, the reviews have been really, really positive about this, so that's good.
I'm happy to read anything that's glowing. But it's different with the show. Because I'm not in it, I probably will have to read reviews and stuff and actually pay more attention to that.
I think, right.
Because when you're doing your own show night after night, you don't want to read that someone doesn't like one bit. That's all you're going to think about that night. So, so with this, I probably will have to... we have got our press night. It's tonight? Tomorrow, I think.
Wednesday this week.
That's right, yeah. So it'll be... I'll be, probably paying a lot more
You'll be ready for that, keeping an eye on your... Will you watch the crowd? Or will you be watching what's going on stage?
I love watching the crowds now. I've seen the show a million times, so what I really love now is watching... Because obviously, again, on stage, you kind of see when the lights come up.
But you can't.
You don't really get to experience it. And also sitting amongst people and hearing them going, wow, just their own, theories.
I can see the strings.
Yeah,
he's got a card up his sleeve.
What surprised me about this was that none of the cast are professional magicians.
No,
some of them have done it as kind of a little bit of a hobby, but why did you do that?
We wanted to cast actors and musicians and people that would, first of all, bring a lot of other skills to their party, which they have done. The music in it's fantastic, really astonishing. And also get over that weird sort of ego thing that's always in the way, I think, with magicians doing their acts. It's normally some bloke, sadly, it's pretty much always a bloke, with an ego, and that's sort of like what you kind of expect if you go and see a magician. And it's so not like that. It's a really egoless thing. So it's been... It's such a delight. I'm so proud of it. And also, it's a proper family thing. It's not Derren Brown in a kind of scary, dark sense at all. It's a lovely, lovely uplifting show.
But when you are taking an actor or a performer, you're trying to teach them the intricacies of magic.
Yes.
That must be quite a discipline for them to have to learn. I mean, it's not like they can sort of fluff a line and get on with it.
No,
if they mess it up.
Actually, the fact that a lot of them are musicians is really helpful because there's a real appreciation of technique if you're a musician.
Yes.
And also the thinking where you might go, OK, I can't do this thing now, but in a week I'll kind of be able to do it, and in a month I'll be able to do it really well. And that's really helpful when you're giving them this kind of stuff. Oh, yeah.
Can I ask you, how frustrating is it that social media and online give things away nowadays? I'd wonder for someone like you in your profession that is that not... Do you just have to keep thinking of new things all the time? I
think with conjuring magic, I think the moment you could record a programme and press pause or rewind, that changed the whole, parameters of what you could do. So with my stages, I've always asked people to keep them secret, and part of that is mainly to preserve the surprise for people, but also stops too much of that happening online. And with this one, we just say, look, just the ending. Please just keep the ending secret. The rest of it, do as you will. And I don't know. So actually, I'm quite looking forward to seeing how that works with this. Not being so, keep the whole show a secret, swearing everyone to secrecy.
But just keep it
and letting it, just seeing how that
I like the communal sort of sense of, like, we've got a secret here that we don't want to ruin. Like if you're watching the end of The Mousetrap, for example,
exactly.
They come out at the end of The Mousetrap and say, you are now part of this, so please don't share what's going on, who the murderer is, or whatever.
Exactly.
I love that. That's
conspiratorial. And there is a really thing we've noticed. We've been open a week in town, but the sense of real kind of group. There's a real kind of electricity in the audience, and a real sense of a maybe because there's so much audience participation and so on. But there's a lovely bristling kind of excitement in the audience,
bonding,
which is a lovely feeling. So I think people just wouldn't want to spoil it.
The participation thing is an interesting one because some people are really keen being they just want to get up there, and they're probably the last ones you actually want to get up and say. And then there's another section of the audience who's like, "Don't pick me," and you've come up with quite a good way of doing this. So as soon as you come in, you sort of register, don't you?
Yes. Well, actually, when you book your tickets, there is a thing you can tick saying you would like to take part in the show.
Like the terms and conditions.
Kind of. Well, not quite. No, you can take part in the show anyway. It's full of audience participation. But we wanted to do one bit where we'd pick names out of a hat and choose people at random, that kind of thing. So there is a thing you can register. Doesn't mean you don't have the chance to take part anyway. But I personally, I'd hate to be brought up on stage. So it's very...
You spend most of your life
I know. Well, it's awful.
So if you ever go and see a performer and they go, right, let's get someone from the audience.
I cringe.
Shrink.
I cringe.
Do you know, I'm the same as well, though. You're straight up there.
No, well...
Are you?
No, probably... Well, no,
it's
not...
worse when you
draw
are a
attention.
performer,
No,
you
totally.
feel it's a bit confusing.
But would you go up and sort of... Do you ever go and watch magicians and illusionists and sit there and try to work out how they've done it, or do you kind of understand?
Not really. But if it's done well, you can be fooled by stuff that you know. That's the weird thing. If you get caught up in the emotional hook of it, or just the performance of it, you realise you can be totally floored by something you know exactly how it works.
I remember doing a gig years ago. I was hosting this event, and there was a magician who came on first, and he used me in one of the... to bring me out. It was a big surprise. It was a cage, and he spins it round, and then I suddenly appeared in the cage. And when I realised how he did it, it was so simple, but it was so brilliant. The audience couldn't believe it. It was, and I loved it. I loved getting that little sense of what's behind the curtain. It's so magical. You feel like you're getting a really special secret.
That's the magic, isn't it? It's that bit. Obviously, this is all very busy. Lovely to do something new, but what is so lovely is you're still doing lots of painting, and you're going to have much more time to do that now.
Yeah. Well, after my directing debut here is finished, I'll have a proper break. So I paint big portraits and caricatures.
This is one of yours. Wow. And this is acrylics.
These are big.
Oh my God, they're
acrylics.
Amazing.
Do they sit for you?
Oh no, they don't.
That would be great. Get Christopher Walken in real life.
No, this is sort of this is kind of my hobby. When I was just a Bowie, I started recently.
It's enormous. Look at the size of it.
They're quite big. Yeah, they're big old things.
God, they're amazing. God, you're very talented. Unbelievable. Criterion Theatre until April the 24th.
It's really wonderful. Thank you so much for having me.
Lovely to see you.
Thank you. Pleasure.